October is drawing nearer and nearer, and you know what that means, don't you? It's almost time for the best holiday out of the year. Of course, Halloween. In honor of Halloween coming up so soon, I thought I would look at something sort of related to it. Ghosts, of course. And out of all the spooky creatures that come with Halloween, ghosts are probably the most recognizable. And you know what the most recognizable feature of them is? Their transparency. So sit back as I go over 5 Roblox hats that are actually transparent in-game. So to start off, I have the Skull of Nevermore. The Skull of Nevermore was released on December 23rd of 2008, making it almost 10 years old in the making of this video. Now the Skull of Nevermore was sort of unique, as it actually came out of a Christmas gift, the one you see on screen now, the burial gift of Ambassador. You got this gift in the Skull for free if you own the Inviter badge by the time the gift was released, which was a discontinued sort of referral program. The Skull has since become limited, meaning it's able to be sold by players. It's currently sitting around 5,000 Robux, making it kind of cheap. But if you look closely, you may notice it actually has 392 sales. Now, interestingly, that means that this item was actually sold again after it came out of the gift. Of course, the people that got it out of the gift still got it for free. When worn in game, it kind of has a darker texture than it does on the website, and it's not nearly as transparent. However, it still is transparent in game. Now, all of these transparent hats look much better when worn with the headless head on your Robloxian. So to kind of show it off now, you can see the full glory of the Skull. What's also worth noting is that almost 10 years later, Roblox comes out with a retexture of the Skull. What you see on screen now, the Fire Skull of Evermore, which is basically the Skull, but, well, red. The Fire Skull is interesting because it's actually free. You can get it for free with a toy code from one of the Roblox toys. It's not listed on the website now, but it's expected to be a chaser for the Series 2 Roblox mystery figures, which are about $4 each. The next item on the list is the Invisible Egg of Shadow. The Invisible Egg of Shadow was released on March 18, 2008 as a part of, I believe, the first egg hunt ever released. When worn in game, the Invisible Egg of Shadow is a lot more transparent than the Skull. It has a sort of smoky or cloudish texture to it, almost looks like a storm. There's actually another egg on Roblox that's also transparent, the Imperial Ghost Egg, which was a part of the 2013 egg hunt. It's very similar, but is a lot more translucent and has a funny face on it. But I decided to put the Invisible Egg of Shadows because it's, well, the original. The next item on the list is the Ghost Fedora. Now this is the first item on the list that's currently unobtainable, so you will not be able to get this item unless it ever goes back on sale or goes limited. The Ghost Fedora was actually given out at the 2014 Halloween event, Hallows Eve 2014 The Witching Hour Returns, which was the sequel to the 2013 Halloween event. Anyway, in this game, there are separate monsters in it. And if you scroll down, you'll see that there are actually badges down here that feature these monsters. In the game, if you killed a certain number of these monsters, you would get an exclusive prize. To get the Ghostly Fedora, you would need the badge on the screen right now. And yes, I know it's low quality, don't question it. Because this was an event item, it's not too rare with almost 200,000 owners. When worn in game, it has this sort of typical fedora look in mesh, but is of course transparent, and has this face on the front. Now, in my opinion, this is a sort of higher quality event item than they give out now. It was sort of ahead of its time. This item is actually a retexture of another hat, the Pinstripe Fedora, on screen now, which is a part of the widely popular Fedora mesh series, including the St. Patrick's Fedora, the Blue Plaid Fedora, the Exanwood Fedora, the Rainbow Fedora, the Friendly Fedora, the Sinister Fedora, the Azure Pinstripe Fedora, and that's about it. A pretty long list, right? The next item on our list is the ghost wings, which are actually the first item on this list, which is not a hat. It is a back accessory, because it's, well, a set of wings. Now this item was actually also from a gift, like the eye skull. The ghost wings came out of the ghostly gift of flight in 2014, and has around 2,700 owners, so it's definitely rarer than the items discussed so far. Now it costed, I believe, 700 Robux. When worn in game, it's a sort of greenish blue color, and is not nearly as transparent as you'd think it was, but it still is transparent. Now the interesting thing about this item is if you look kind of closely, you'll see it actually has feathers, and it takes the appearance of more of sort of a bird wing set than anything else. Hey, wait a second, ghost wings? Is this some type of ghost bird or something? For my last pick on the list, I have to go with the Overworldly Antlers. The Overworldly Antlers came out of the gift of the Dread Hunter in 2014, which I may have forgotten to mention about the wings, but they were also released in 2014. I'm too lazy to go back and correct that. Now, if you're a bit older, you may actually notice something else about this gift. Well, if you look closely, the gift box, the item that came out of it, and the description are a clear reference to the highly acclaimed 2015 horror game Until Dawn. When worn in game, I'd say they're about the least transparent item on this list, besides maybe the ghost wings. Now, interestingly, this item doesn't really resemble a ghost in my opinion. It has a sort of, I'd say, almost glacier ice-like or even cloudy texture. In fact, if I had to say anything, I'd think that this item's texture was actually ripped straight from a picture of a cloud, which I know is not the case. Similarly to the ghostly Fedora, this item is also a retexture and is a part of the Antler series, starting with the Silverthorne Antlers. And now there are a ton of these antlers, so let me show you them all. Now, interestingly, the candy cane antlers you see on the screen now were actually given a different mesh. It's a more updated, less blocky mesh, but it was never used again. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this list. If you did, leave a like and consider subscribing for more cool content.